We often interpret the story of Jesus calming the storm as a guarantee for our personal crises. In this common view, Jesus acts as a fixer for our emotional, financial, or medical storms, stepping in to bring immediate peace to our situation. Mark's Gospel records a different reaction. When the wind stops and the water clears, the disciples do not feel safe. The text states they were absolutely terrified. These men were more afraid of the calm than they were of the sinking ship. This raises a difficult question. Why does being saved from death result in even greater terror? To understand that fear, we have to look at the geography. The Sea of Galilee sits 700 feet below sea level, trapped in a deep basin of mountains. This basin creates unique meteorological traps. Cold air from the peaks descends and collides with the warm air over the lake, causing sudden, hurricane-force downdrafts that can swamp a boat in minutes. We know exactly what the disciples were sailing. In 1986, archaeologists discovered this first-century vessel buried in the mud along the shoreline. This 27-foot boat was shallow-drafted and patched together from 10 different types of scrap wood. It was an incredibly fragile hull. For seasoned fishermen in a fragile boat, a sudden squall meant a rational, calculated fear of drowning. Their initial terror was completely justified by the physical facts. Mark 4 places this crossing at the end of a grueling day. Jesus had spent hours teaching massive crowds and navigating the physical strain of public ministry. He was physically depleted. While the disciples rowed, he fell into a deep, exhausted sleep on a cushion in the stern. When the downdraft hit, the boat began taking on dark, heavy waves. The disciples, despite their years on the water, lost control of the vessel as it filled with the sea. They woke Jesus with an accusation. "Teacher, do you not care that we're going to drown?" Their reaction reveals a frantic theology. They interpreted his physical silence and exhaustion as evidence of divine apathy. Jesus addressed the storm directly, issuing an absolute command to the elements. The first Greek command is siope. This is an imperative order for the sea to be entirely silent or mute. He adds peifamoso, which translates to be muzzled. This is the same authoritative language Jesus used to cast out demons, the language of total subjugation. The result was immediate. The wind didn't gradually fade. It experienced kapazo, growing tired in a single instant. The water turned to glass. Jesus overpowered the elements without their cooperation, asserting his authority as their creator. The command left the lake in a perfectly dead calm. Jesus issued his own rebuke to the men. "Why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith?" But the disciples were not relieved by this. The Greek text says they were struck with a massive, staggering fear. Standing in that dead calm, they realized the chaotic storm was a secondary threat. They were now in the presence of a man with incomprehensible, sovereign power. They whispered to each other in the silence, "Who then is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him?" This account moves past simple promises of worldly comfort or quick fixes for life's difficulties. Mark forces the reader to confront the identity and authority of Christ. The story leaves the modern viewer with the same awe-inspiring question the disciples faced in that boat. Who is this man?